Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, here we go. Oh goodness, there's a lot of tea in this one. Yeah, you can tell it's maybe a little overzealous with the tea there. All right, now let's see what we're looking at here. Well, it looks like we have a large ship. Yeah, some really beautiful images here. And I'm seeing things on both sides. Okay, let's look at, excuse me, let's look at this side first. This is where I looked from the start. So I kind of want to look at what this massive formation in the center here, and we have a person kind of standing on this. It looks like a mountain, kind of a hill maybe. I see almost kind of a little person underneath maybe. In my estimation, this looks like somebody that is either kind of holding onto the leg or what I think is what comes to mind is this kind of little voice, the conscience that is telling you stay grounded, right? We have this a lot of tea leaves, this big ground area, a big pile of earth, which makes sense when we look at the card that I pulled today, and we'll look at that in a minute. And this person that seems to almost be floating, they are lifting their arm. They're kind of grabbing for these little pieces, maybe stars. I kind of envision coins or, just little pieces of essence. Whatever it is, really reaching for those dreams, okay? But also having, and so luckily, right, this grounding force right here. Okay, so I truly, truly believe that this reading tonight is going to be a lot about building that, excuse me, building that, excuse me, building that firm and lasting foundation. Okay, we have the Prince of Discs. Okay, so this is air on earth. Okay, so the princes are the air, and the discs is the earth element. Okay, so we have a very earthy, a very kind of logical work, concentrating on resources, concentrating on building, concentrating on, just really kind of very focused in the material world. Okay, this isn't necessarily like the conception of ideas or creative projects or daydreams or emotional things, love, and this kind of stuff. This is about getting your hands dirty, building something lasting, gathering your resources, gathering your money together, really getting your life kind of on the straight and narrow, right? So this makes sense in this is the central theme here, okay? And I think that you have been so much about setting goals, especially I think having to do with money in particular. I think that you have probably recently, in the last year at least, gone over your finances and done some real planning, okay? Even maybe more recently. I think that you are trying to be a little more frugal, a little more thoughtful about where you're spending your money, what kinds of things you're buying. Maybe, buying with more intention as far as buying things that are of quality that will last instead of kind of short-term fixes or, this kind of disposable culture that we live in as far as goods go. So I think it's really been kind of a turning point for you in your life where you are coming to the realization that you're going to have to kind of be planning at least a couple years out. I know that it's hard to imagine planning too far out because our world changes so quickly. No matter how much you save, if anything at all, depending on the climate of the economy and work and so forth, even the things you do save, what does it mean in a few years? You have no idea, So I understand the stress, as we all do, but I think that it's been very important for you. I feel like intuitively, I feel like at the core of your being, you have shifted into this part of your life where it almost seems like you're starting to build like a nest egg, okay? Or, trying to get your debts resolved, trying to, straighten those finances up, begin to have some savings, and as I said, build a nest egg for yourself, okay? I also see this beautiful butterfly, okay? And we always love seeing the butterfly. Definitely a sign of progression, metamorphosis, transmutation, knowledge into wisdom, right? And becoming somebody who has really worked on themselves through the ordeals of their life, through probably at least a couple of rites of passage. I don't know how old you are, but I would think that probably you've lived a little bit of life, okay? And you are getting into a part of your life, or get a second time getting into a second big, maybe the third part of your life, right? And you're having to kind of rethink how you live, what you can spend, what are your kind of priorities and expectations of living. What is necessary, what is not, how frivolous do you want to be? And there's nothing wrong with that either. Let me just say, there's a lot to be said for people who live kind of, and I'm thinking of almost like a libertine, or, this kind of ostentatious, kind of, archetype of the fool, just kind of going from one place to the next in the moment, not having a lot of things necessarily, but indulging as you go along, right? And when you do have things, or you're buying things, they're rather indulgent, okay? And there, you know, I can't say which works. We all end up in the same place at the end of the day, right? So it's very unique to each of our paths. But I do think that for you, this is really, really a time of transitioning into, I would think that this is maybe either you're going into the beginning of, well, into your adulthood, okay, into your later 30s, into middle age, or maybe like going into a retirement, okay, the early parts of retirement. So these are parts of our lives that we really, really, you know, there's a lot of kind of reorganizing going on, right? Okay, and now I want to look here. I've seen a few people in these formations, and then we're going to turn it upside down and kind of look at it too. Now, I kind of am interested, why has this really come up in your life? What's going on? Okay. And I'm looking, I'm so sorry. I get through most of the day trying to keep my voice rested as much as I can, but I have a toddler and we love running around and chasing each other and screaming and being ridiculous. So some days it's just hard to not wreck my voice, especially since I've been sick. It just goes out really quickly. Okay, so I'm looking here and I'm seeing that it looks to me something like a headstone, okay? And I kind of, as we were even looking at the beginning of this reading, thinking, okay, so something has happened. I think a couple different things have happened, maybe a few, 2, 3, 4 things, but I was looking at this little squirrel. Totally makes sense, right on theme. You know, if you know anything about squirrels, they're out there hunting for different kinds of nuts, or they eat a lot of our corn here too, but they're out there looking for nuts, and they're hiding them, keeping them away. I always joke with my husband, I think our squirrels out back have an entire tree full of nuts, because there's so many black walnut trees and such around here, and they also eat some of the other foods we put out. So I think they probably have a huge tree that's just completely full of these different things that they're collecting. But I think that this is kind of the vibe for you right now, is just you're out there working. And you know, that's not a bad thing. I think it's important to, you know, really focus on trying to make something for yourself, get something put away for yourself, if you can, if you're privileged enough to be in the position to do so. And with this, I see the headstone. So I'm wondering, I am wondering if, unfortunately, somebody in your life had a spouse, somebody that you know, that you are close to, if they had a spouse or a significant other, somebody who they lived with, paid the bills with, probably had a family with this person, and they suddenly passed away. Okay, there wasn't a lot of preparation, there wasn't a lot of planning, especially financially. So now you have seen somebody that you care for really trying to scramble and figure out how they're going to live off of one income. And if they have children or a child, especially if they're younger, it's going to be hard. You know, it's hard to figure out exactly how you're going to make that work. And so these are the kinds of, excuse me, events that happen in our lives, or at least kind of on the peripheral of our lives. We see these things happen, these circumstances come up, and we, you know, it's scary to watch somebody go through that. It's hard because it could happen to any of us. You know, it happened to me, but without a child. In my late 20s, you know, I was with somebody for over 10 years, and they passed away unexpectedly, and just, you know, it was horrendous. But when you're young like that, you don't plan for somebody to have a heart problem, or, you know, or whatever else could come up for people. And then it's, you know, your finances are so tied together and dependent on one another, and figuring that out can take a minute, and it's hard. So, you know, for me, going through incredible grief, and then also having to figure out, what was I going to do? You know, like, where did I want to be? How was I going to afford what I wanted? And, you know, my life changed drastically. And so now I'm way more mindful about being prepared for all kinds of things in life. But, you know, you have to be. And so I think you are coming to this understanding because somebody had, a terrible loss. And so I'm sorry for that. It's not easy, definitely. And, you know, I'm sure it's very hard to witness that, as well, as we all have known somebody who has lost somebody that they love, and they're, you know, somewhat reliant on their finances together. Okay, now I want to look at this one. Okay. And I see a person here, and I see almost like a child. This figure looks like a child to me. So it almost kind of looks like a more, I get the feeling that this is kind of a more feminine air sign, younger person. It could be a child. It could be, you know, somebody who's just younger, or seems younger to you. I think this is somebody you love very much. Maybe it's your own child. Maybe it's somebody you've taken care of, kind of taken under your wing. And I really get this sensation that there's been a lot of financial strain in dealing with this person. And if this is your child, I understand. I just happen to have a very, I don't like to say spoiled, because it's not her fault. She's not spoiled. But a child, an only child, my daughter, who is an air sign, and she gets whatever she wants, basically, it seems like. Anyways, compared to how I grew up, you know. So it's I would say within reason, but more on the spectrum of almost being a little too much. So even just living very, you know, as frugally as you can with a kid, it is expensive, right? And the older they get, they have more things, more activities, you know, more things for school. They want more expensive technology and this and that. And my goodness, it adds up quickly, right? Don't even get me started on clothes. I'm starting to get ready for the next 2 seasons coming up, and it's just, you know, it's a lot. So I think that this is something else that's on your mind. So I wonder if this is like your child. It could be, like I said, somebody that you've taken care of, somebody that you have put your finances into, right? On some level. So this is another reason you're thinking, I want to kind of stack some dough because I have to, you know, I'm responsible in some capacity for this person, or I feel responsible. I want them to have something. I want them to be comfortable. You know, while I'm alive, and God, you know, God forbid, if something happens soon, I feel that this is a real, kind of a real, concern for you, and also motivator, big motivator, right? And 100%, this, I totally vibe with this as well. You know, I never have been so concerned, even after the things that happened before. Of course, I wanted to have a stable life financially, but I've never been so concerned about, being able to take care of somebody else until I had a kid, obviously. So, you know, it makes sense that this would be one of the things that really is a motivator for you. Okay. And then I want to look up here. We have this big boat. Okay. It looks like you are ready to get out of here. And this one really makes sense to me. And I'm just kind of, we have a little bird here as well. And I really, I kind of get this whole feeling, because it almost looks like there's an anchor coming down as well from the boat, okay? And I truly kind of believe that this is something a little more general. This is a concern. I kind of feel like you have recently, at least in the last few years, okay, and it makes sense because we all were kind of grounded at home. We're watching the news, even those of us who never really followed the news, okay? And I feel like probably you didn't follow the news very much. You have always kind of been busy in your own world, and yeah, you passively hear about things, maybe look at something here and there, but you weren't big on absorbing every headline and every, you know, every story going on, every drama happening in the national, international news feeds or whatever. But recently you've been really getting more and more concerned about the state of the world, right? And that makes sense. We all kind of have. And I think that this has been a huge emotional shift for you. I think that you really have been thinking about, where do you want to end up living? Where do you kind of want to put down roots for however long that's going to be for you, for your family? It just, a lot of worry. I get a sense of a lot of worry, really just wanting to set sail. Kind of take off, you know, on the seven seas somewhere. Find a nice little island or something, and you know, just kind of live that Swiss Family Robinson lifestyle. There's another reference that will age me. And you know, I think that this is kind of a feeling a lot of people have right now. At least if you're looking online on social media and stuff, it's just, I see a lot of people, you know, feeling like they want to get out of here. They want to, you know, go live on communes, go have their own place with their family, you know, be kind of isolationist, whatever it is. Just living in a more idyllic place, a more sustainable place. And so I think that this is also part of your thinking, okay? And then with the bird, I think that in this posture, just kind of sitting. It seems very stoic. I think that you, we're in a weird age. We have a kind of difficult conundrum that is going on. The world is perceivably faster. Things change quickly. You have to stay up on, you know, technologies and social information and, you know, I mean, just every day. We know so much about so many things. Okay, I think about this a lot. My ancestors knew a lot about maybe a very, you know, fairly narrow range of things. You know, their environments, how to do things, how to, you know, different skill sets they had. Or some oral tradition, some maybe written tradition, but not a lot. not a lot in comparison to, we have to know something about everything these days, right? We have so many choices to make every single day. We try to stay informed about as much as we can. I think generally people do their best, and I think often we fear being ostracized if we get it wrong. And it's hard to know from day to day what it is not the right thing, and you know what, it shifts so quickly. So we have a lot to take in, a lot to navigate, and you know, I think that, you know, it's easy to really fantasize about departing from all of this, but even more so just getting to a place where you can slow down and contemplate the things beyond all of this noise, right? How to kind of pull it aside, get down to the things that really impact you directly, the things that really matter to you, functionally, spiritually, emotionally. And I think that you're really getting to this point. And this is kind of, I think maybe, this is my, this is kind of my theory about myself, is that I've always kind of really been drawn to older people, elderly people, as friends, as confidants, as mentors, because a lot of them, most people, if they are lucky enough to live into, you know, their later years, past 75, 80, 90 years old, they've been through so much, and kind of really are good at knowing what matters. You know what I mean? Like, they really kind of know what at the end of the day, what are they concerned with? And oddly, you know, through my relationships with older people, I've learned a lot about, you know, just eating well, eating things you like, you know, having comfortable clothing, moving your body, the weather, of course, and, you know, just caring about and being amongst people that you love and who love you. And, you know, these kinds of things that we get away from. We get so concerned with a lot. And, of course, you know, we all want the best world that we can possibly muster, you know, keep our community growing and evolving, and, you know, and ourselves, our interior work, and all these things. But I really think that, you know, this is a period of time that you are going through, that you're really stripping away some of the that noise, as I said. And I'm not saying that you're older, maybe you are. But I think because of the intensity of the world we live in, the pressures, unlike any other time in the world, I imagine anyways, the amount of pressure that we have because of the amount of communication and information we have, it ages you in a way so quickly that, like, it seems like even younger and younger people are going through these transformations where it's like, okay, I just really need to simplify my life. I need to, figure out how am I going to, I'm 45, 42, 41 years old or whatever. I feel like I'm 80. Why? I've had to, I went to school for something that's obsolete. I have a bunch of debt. I have a family to take care of. It's hard for me to keep up with all of the things that are changing. I don't even understand, how to navigate the work world or these different industries that are popping up, or your own industry or whatever. It's just always changing. And it's hard. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard. You have to be a person that really can conceive very far outside the box. And so I think that there's also this movement towards, really, I think people see it as like a return to traditionalism, or, like reconstructionists or something like this. But I think really at the core of it, it is really this desire to live lives, find a way to live a life that is not going to crush you, and a lot of people, we do this collectively. We we lament the current state of things. We romanticize the past for even in all of its torture and corruption and pain and all the things that we're also bad about it. We romanticize the things that we can hold, the things that we can understand, the things that we wish we could return to the simple parts of it, right? So and I know this has become long-winded. I'm just very passionate about this because I really, I think about what is going to happen for not only my own family, but for all of us, And I'm kind of an idealist and a romantic in the way that I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody safe, and find just that ease in their life to be able to breathe and, not want for the basic things that they should be able to have. And, so I understand your concern, and I am also concerned. I am right there with you. And so I'm looking at this one. We have a heart. We have an L. And it looks like we have a little purse. Funny enough, a little purse here. And there's a little heart. There's a little L. Okay. And I think that, there's really not, I don't have any vision of exactly what it is you're doing to make money. But really just that this is where your mind is and this is where your work is. It feels good. It feels like this is a worthy motivator. It feels like I understand completely the things that are coming up for you to kind of put you into this place of thinking and mindset. And honestly, Aries, I think that this is one of your more natural states of kind of, I don't necessarily think this is like grind set or whatever it's called, but I think that you're really good at figuring out what works for you and making it into something that can produce for you. And so I think that, you know, this is a good place, good balanced kind of place that you're really powering through a lot of this. And I'll show you again. I mean, this is a powerful image, right? I really feel like this is, you're out there doing the dang thing. Right? So, all right, Aries, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm always so, so, so honored to bring you these messages and to be able to just kind of relate with you and relate some of my thoughts and the things that are coming up for me. I would be so appreciative if you would like the video. It helps me get into the algorithm. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell button and that will let you know when the next videos come out. We're on this new schedule where I am doing 2 videos or 2 readings a day. So every sign is being read once a week. Okay, so between now and 1 week from now, you can go ahead and watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, and Venus. I know that one is popular as well. So, other than that, please leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on with you. I love hearing from each of you. You all are so wonderful. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll talk again very soon.